Workers and Others in Labor, and the Post-Gazette, Steve O'Donnell.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the support from Representative Quartz, who's here, excuse me, Jerry Lachek with the steel workers, the mayor of Monroeville, and of course, Jim Burns. It's a real honor to be standing with these individuals. And I'd like to thank all of you for coming out, and I would particularly like to thank the steel workers who have endorsed my campaign for United States Congress. Members of the steel workers come from a proud history of unrivaled accomplishment. It's the work of men and women like those standing before you, standing before you, and many who have preceded them, who literally built America. Every bridge you see in this city, spanning the three rivers, every soaring building originated with the work of American steel workers. You should also know that steel workers are a powerful political force for the good of our country. Not only does the United Steelworkers take care of its own, but they work to improve the lives of all Americans. We should all be grateful for what the steelworkers do. I believe that campaigns should be about the issues. Let me tell you very briefly why I'm running, and then I'll get down to the meat of this conference. I'm running because I want to represent average families in Pennsylvania, not the oil, the drug, and the insurance companies, not the Republican leadership, not George Bush or Dick Cheney or their agenda. I'm running because I want to help create an environment in which American business can thrive, where employees can thrive and grow. I'm running because I want to help create a high-quality, affordable, transferable, universal health care system which allows all families to choose their own doctors and their own hospital. I'm running to help America become a leader in alternative energy so that we can reduce our dependence on foreign oil. And I'm running to help end the war in Iraq, a war which is costing us approximately $12 billion every month and is likely to grow to $3 trillion by the time this war is over. We can use that money here in Western Pennsylvania, and it's time we bring our troops home to a hero's welcome where they deserve what they deserve. Last week, my opponent, Tim Murphy, launched vicious attack ads against me. These ads are downright lies, and even for politics, especially nasty. You should notice that Tim Murphy doesn't make honest criticisms of my positions. In fact, in his campaign, he hardly mentions the issues that Americans care most about. When he talks about his record, he conveniently omits the years when he was a loyal foot soldier for George Bush and Dick Cheney, voting in his first 4 years of Congress between 80 and 98% of the time. Don't take my word for it. These are figures from the Congressional Quarterly, a highly respected, nonpartisan publication, and my staff will have copies of those for you after I'm through. Let's look at Mr. Murphy's two main methods of attack in these slanderous ads: innuendo and fake footage. First, you should know that the one visual element which drives this piece and gives it its sinister quality is a shot of me holding my hand up to the camera. Well, that's not part of a legitimate news story. It was only shot a few weeks ago when a Murphy operative came out and jammed the camera into my face. In a word, the shot was faked to look like TV news. The ad includes other shots that are fake, and it's embedded in using computer graphics in two stories with damning headlines that mention my name only in passing. This slick ad isn't an amateur job. Note that the colors are drained to black and white to have a gritty effect. Note the sinister music. Note the accusatory narrator. This is high-end attack ads produced by Barbender Cox, the media consulting company which produced controversial ads for former Senator Rick Santorum. The company has consulted for former Congressman Randy Duke Cunningham, who has pleaded federal charges of tax evasion, and former Congressman Bob Ney, who pled guilty to charges of conspiracy in connection with the Abramoff scandal. Second, let's look at innuendo. We can't call them facts in this ad, and we need to remember that. And remember, television and radio studios are obligated by law to run these ads even if they know that the content is false. Let me focus on Murphy's three main allegations, and this is important. He says that I paid myself and my family hundreds of thousands of dollars over an 8-year period, earning between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. The cumulative total is about $200,000. By Murphy's twisted logic, we can say that over his 7 years in office, he paid himself, and remember that Congress votes on his own salary, that he paid himself over $900,000 a year. Second, Murphy alleges that the organization paid me $200,000 for renovation of offices I own, which were in a particularly good location for the needs of the agency. Actually, every dime of the money paid was subtracted from a fair market price of rent. And I wasn't even part of the decision. It was made by an independent board of directors and put through a rigorous audit by an independent auditor. And finally, Murphy implies, but he doesn't actually state, that I drove the agency into bankruptcy. In fact, when I left the organization, it had over $500,000 of net worth. And the courts later found, the federal bankruptcy courts later found that my successors, not me, my successors, deliberately drove the agency into bankruptcy in order to seize its assets. This is the main focus of the Tribune Review's articles, which Murphy cites. The one true statement in Murphy's slanderous attack is that he is Tim Murphy and that he did approve this message. And I believe that by approving these ads, he stains the office that he holds. Did Tim Murphy not know the actual facts of the case? Why did he rely on fragments taken from stories in only one newspaper, the Tribune Review? And why did he not check the court documents in which the judge finds another organization guilty of the charges Murphy makes? With Murphy's cool $1.5 million in campaign cash, he can certainly afford to do minimal research it would require to get to the facts in this case. If Murphy personally knew that the facts of his allegation were false, then it would constitute a malicious and reckless disregard of the truth. And if he didn't know, then he is an incompetent manager. Why does Tim Murphy run this ad while he denies that he's in a real fight to save his job? Because he knows he can't defend his own record. And if voters judge him by his performance, he'll be looking for a job next week. Tim Murphy has almost nothing to lose by running these nasty ads. They are paid for by the special interests which finance his campaign, the oil, the drug, and the insurance companies, and even Hal Burton. Furthermore, he knows that if there's any legal action taken against him, he can use campaign dollars to defend himself. The only thing Murphy has to lose by running these ads is his reputation. If he can lie to the public about my record, is there anything at all, to make us believe that he wouldn't lie to the public about his own record? He has tried very hard to deny his loyalty to the Bush administration, yet we know he has voted with the administration between 80 and 98% of the time during his first 4 years, and even in 2007, with the Democrats in control of the House, he voted with the Republican leadership not 79% of the time. In 2004, Dick Cheney came into town and raised $200,000 for Tim Murphy in a single night at a fundraiser in Ligonier. Did Cheney do this because Murphy was a thorn in the president's side? I don't think so. Tim Murphy tries to conceal from you that he is under investigation by the federal authorities and by House Ethics Committee for allegedly forcing his congressional staff to work in his campaign while while being paid by the taxpayers. These allegations are made by his own staff, and they're reported by KDKA TV, Post-Gazette, and the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. Unlike my opponent, I will not play dirty to win this election, and I won't have to. If the voters have even minimal information about Tim Murphy's record and about my stand on the issues, I will win this race. Hold on to your seats. The battle is on, and I'm fighting to the very end. Thank you very much.